Mirror Realms, Episode 11. The Reflection That Didn't Disappear. Part 1. The reflection that stayed too long. Mirrors are supposed to reflect reality. They show us the world as it is, nothing more, nothing less. But sometimes, they show us things that aren't supposed to be there. I learned that the hard way. It started one ordinary evening. I had just finished brushing my teeth, ready to collapse into bed after a long, exhausting day. As I turned away from the bathroom mirror, I caught a glimpse of my reflection still standing there. At first, I thought it was a trick of the light. Maybe I had moved too fast, maybe my tired eyes were playing tricks on me. But then it blinked. And I hadn't. Part 2, the first sign of something wrong. I froze. My pulse hammered in my ears. I turned back to the mirror, hoping to see my reflection mimicking me again, like it should. Instead, it was smiling. Not a normal smile. Not my smile. A grin that stretched too wide, revealing too many teeth. The kind of smile that doesn't belong on a human face. I stepped forward. My reflection remained still. Then, slowly, it tilted its head. That was when I ran. Part 3, the reflection that watched that night. I barely slept. Every shadow in my room felt wrong. Every creak of the house made my skin crawl. I tried to convince myself it had been my imagination. A moment of exhaustion. A glitch in my brain. But the next morning, I went back to the mirror, took a deep breath, and forced myself to look. My reflection was there, staring back at me. Everything seemed normal. Until I raised my right hand. My reflection lifted its left. Part 4, the silent warning. I backed away slowly. My mind was screaming at me to break the mirror, to shatter it into 1,000 pieces, to never look at it again. But I couldn't. Something inside me knew that breaking it wouldn't help. Instead, I covered the mirror with a thick bedsheet, refusing to acknowledge its existence. I told myself that as long as I didn't look at it, it couldn't look at me. That night, as I was drifting into an uneasy sleep, I heard something move. A soft, slow dragging sound. Like fabric sliding across the floor. I sat up, my heart pounding. The bedsheet was on the ground. The mirror was uncovered. And in the dim light of my room, I saw my reflection standing too close to the glass. Part 5, the knock from the other side. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. My reflection was watching me. Studying me. Then, it did something I will never forget. It knocked. A slow, deliberate tap from the inside of the mirror. I scrambled out of bed, nearly tripping over myself as I bolted for the door. I refused to look back, refused to acknowledge whatever was happening. But before I could leave, I heard it. A whisper. Soft, too close to my ear. Let me out. Part 6, the escape that wasn't. I left my apartment that night, crashing on a friend's couch. I told them I was having nightmares, that I just needed to be somewhere else for a while. I didn't tell them about the mirror. Because I was afraid that saying it out loud would make it real. But deep down, I knew I couldn't avoid it forever. That mirror was still there. It was waiting for me. And sooner or later, I would have to go back. Part 7, the reflection that wasn't mine. After 2 days, I gathered enough courage to return. I stepped inside my apartment, heart pounding, eyes darting to the covered mirror. Nothing had changed. The bedsheet was still on the floor. The mirror was still uncovered. And my reflection was gone. I stood frozen, dread crawling up my spine. The glass was empty. And then, behind me I saw movement. Part 8, the final choice. I spun around, but there was nothing there. The apartment was silent. Too silent. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I saw it. My reflection. Not in the mirror. In the window. Standing in the darkness outside my building. Watching me from the street. Smiling. And tapping on the glass.